dear beloved community, we are joining our Sangha in Vietnam at Tuhu Temple in Hue, where venerables have gathered from around Vietnam to pay their respects to our beloved teacher. So these are the opening chants for today's ceremony of placing Thai's body in the coffin. We are seeing the full moon meditation hall at Tuhu Temple, the temple where Thay first became a monk at the age of 16. And outside we can see the canopies where many other monastics have gathered because there's not enough space in the hall. And many of the venerables that we can see have been Thay's friends for a long time. And at home, we are invited to join our palms if we feel comfortable to do so, to share in this collective energy of mindfulness and concentration. We are now hearing the Heart Sutra being chanted in Vietnamese. different robes. There are many schools of Buddhism in Vietnam, and many of them are represented here in today's ceremony. So now we are approaching the deep listening hut, which is Thai's hut in Hue, where he has been residing. And we will be inviting Thai's body to come from his hut, called the Deep Listening Hut, and to come to be lying in wake in the full moon meditation hall. Here is the procession to Thai's hut. And this is where Thay has been since he returned to Vietnam. And this is where he has been enjoying watching the seasons, enjoying being at home in his homeland. So as those monastics wearing brown are more closely associated with the Plum Village tradition. Preparing everyone to receive the procession. Thai's monastic disciples are surrounding him in this moment. We can see Brother Phap Lam, Brother Phap Hương, and many of Thai's young monastic disciples in Vietnam holding vigil around Thai's body as Thai's body is formally invited to move to the full moon meditation hall.
Hòa thượng dị kiến trình có thấu bần, Hòa thượng dị tín để cập từ tình, Hòa thượng hữu trí tất khả năng độ, đương nhiên khổ đoạn tập chứng tiếng tụng. Nguyện Hòa thượng Phật phước cao đẳng, bất vi bạn an dưỡng hồi nhập, có bà phân thân vô số, biến thập phương sát, dị bất khả tư nghị tự tại, năng lực chúng chúng phương tiện độ thoát chúng sanh phạm linh ly nhiễm.
This chant of invitation is a prayer for Thai's beautiful continuation. So we can see the venerables in the golden robes and our own Plum Village community with brown Thai Trung Hai. And we can hear the voice of Thai Phap Nim as we move Thai's body. So the venerables, having invited Thai's body to move towards the full moon meditation hall, they will lead the procession. So this is chanting the name of Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of great compassion. If you would like, you can join in the chanting from home. Thai Phap Ung, monastic here at the front from Plum Village and Holland. One of our most senior monastic disciples of Thai. So many of the brothers holding Thai here have been his attendants over the last years, caring for Thai day and night. Thai Phap Tan, another Plum Village monastic there. And in the Buddhist tradition, we hold the body high out of respect. The head is always the most sacred part of our body. the chant of compassion rising up from the nuns community gathered outside the hall. Many hundreds of monastics. And again, the Plum Village tradition we can see in brown on the left, many of our sisters who have trained in our monasteries around the world. Thai Phap Ung at the front here, and Thai Phap Lam on the right. Thai Phap Hung also on the left, many of our beloved brothers. Thai Chung Hai also at the front here. And we can see many visiting nuns in gray. We are very grateful that despite all the COVID restrictions, the government is allowing our community to gather to pay our respects to our teacher in such an intimate way. And we know many of us wish we can be there. And what an honor for those members of our community who can be present in this moment to witness our beloved teacher on his journey. And here we come, entering the full moon meditation hall, where he will lie in wake. Suko Chang Kong is being held by two sisters. We can see her just behind Thay here, our beloved elder sister, Nitrung, the eldest sister in our community who has supported our beloved teacher for so many decades. So wonderful that she can be here to accompany Thay, having been his greatest support for so long. And what an honor that she can be here until Thay took his last breath. We can see Thai's calligraphy on the wall. That calligraphy read, "Strolling in the ultimate." A beautiful phrase, poetic phrase, enjoying space outside of space, time outside of time. And they have selected it to be one of the calligraphies for this ceremony. Here we can see Sister Chang Kong to the left of the screen, and the Plum Village monastics gathering close to our teacher. So we can see the brown of Thai's, our community, Thai's students, all in the middle here. And Thai's attendants laying Thay to rest. So as a sign of respect, the community is kneeling up. And on the left of the screen here, this is Thai's spiritual cousin teacher from the same generation, guiding the movement. Thai's body lifted 3 times as a kind of prostration, and now moving over to be placed in the coffin. We invoke your name, Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of great compassion. These are visiting monastics from other traditions that have come to pay their respects. The time after the passing of a great teacher is considered a very sacred and holy time, a very special moment. So Thai's body has now been placed in the coffin, in the casket. To formally lie in wake for the coming days, so that people from around Vietnam will also have an opportunity to come and pay their respects. So Thai's own monastic disciples now touching the earth. Many of Thai's lay disciples from provinces all over Vietnam have been traveling through the night to be able to arrive in time to witness the ceremony and to pay their respects. So the coffin is filled with the fragrant sandalwood earth. How wonderful that so many can gather. This is a real blessing for all of us and for Thay. And as Thay said when he first returned to Vietnam in 2005, nothing is more important than brotherhood and sisterhood. And so for the Buddhist community to be able to gather and come together, for Thai's own disciples to gather and come together, even in the pandemic, what a blessing for us all. We're seeing now some visiting venerables from different traditions. This is sandalwood being placed on top of the body. Sandalwood, always the most sacred fragrance and the symbol of incense in Buddhist monasteries. Many of the lay friends who have traveled are business people in the corporate world from Vietnam, who are wonderful Sangha builders, practicing Thai's Dharma doors and mindfulness in Vietnam. So we will now begin a period of chanting. These are known as mantras or dharanis, a very sacred kind of prayer. Here in Plum Village, we are touching the earth to honor this moment. You may like to join your palms and to follow your breathing. So Thai's disciples again in brown, and the venerables from other traditions also coming close to pay their respects. Placing the lid on the coffin. And we're hearing the voice of Thai Phap Nim.
Dear respected Thai, dear community,
ở bên chùa Tô đã xong phần làm lễ nhập kim quang.
At the Root Temple, they have now completed the ceremony of putting Thai's body into
So this
the
marks the
casket.
completion of the ceremony of placing
Chư Tôn
Thai's
Đức
body
sẽ,
in the casket.
nghỉ một chút và sau đó sẽ trở lại để làm lễ khải kinh.
And the venerables, they will take a short break, and then they will come back to do chanting.
Đại chúng ở đây, dẫu vì nào cần đi ra ngoài một chút xíu thì có thể đi ra ngoài. Sau đó mình sẽ
break
trở
in the
lại.
ceremony before the
Còn vì nào
and
mà
an
không cần đi ra
opportunity
ngoài
for
thì mình
people
sẽ
to pay
tiếp tục
their
ngồi
respects to
thiền
the
để hộ
coffin,
niệm.
and then the community in
And for all of
Vietnam will
us who are
gather
here,
in due
if we
course
need to
for
take a short
further
break, we can
chanting.
go outside, and then we shall come back to join the chanting session. And those who would like to stay in this meditation hall, we can remain in sitting meditation.
Con xin cảm ơn đại chúng.
Thank you, dear Sangha.
So there will be a short break, and if you like, you can, here's Thai Phap Nim at the front of the screen, followed by Thai Phap Ung, two of Thai's most senior and beloved disciples in our community, with the Venerables, discussing with the Venerables some details. So they will gather after a short break for more chanting, so you may like to leave the live stream open, and we will continue the ceremony in due course. Thank you for having joined us for this very sacred moment together. We are breathing as one spiritual family. We are together as a beloved community. And we can feel in our gratitude for Thay and our love for Thay, also our love to build community and togetherness. So thank you for joining us.
Thầy Pháp Khởi ơi, thầy cho âm thanh xuống một chút được không thầy? Tắt luôn, thầy tắt âm thanh và khi đại chúng bên kia bắt đầu tụng kinh lại thì mình mở cho đại chúng ở đây.
Ancestors' home of Tuhu Temple. So our lay friends now have an opportunity to come and pay their respects while the monastics have gathered in the main shrine room, the main ancestors' altar of Tuhu Temple. And many of the people in grey we see here, they may be original members of the School of Youth for Social Service. They may be members of the Order of Interbeing, if you see them wearing the brown jacket. In the shrine room, we have Thay kneeling for the chanting. So Thay and Thay and kneeling as senior disciples of Thay, representing our community with the venerables as witness, and then the most senior venerables leading the chanting. This shrine hall, this Buddha hall, has recently been renovated during the time that Thay has been back in Vietnam, and thanks to Thay's presence there, donations came in from around the world to renovate this shrine hall. So it's wonderful for us to see it for the first time. And Thay, during the works, Thay came out on his wheelchair to enjoy witnessing the rebuilding of the Buddha Hall, Ancestors Altar and Shrine Hall that we're seeing now. style of chanting is very particular to Hui. Very beautiful. And we can see chrysanthemums being placed around Thai's coffin, his favorite flower.
Phần vào không khí trang nghiêm và thanh tịnh của vườn này thì
So we can see Thai's monastic disciples stretching right out into the courtyard under the canopy, touching the earth to pay their respects at the altar, led by the venerables from other traditions. And so everyone present in Tuhu now will have a chance to come and to bow at this, our ancestral altar, the altar of all our ancestral teachers of our lineage, Thai's own teacher, his own grandfather teacher. And so over the coming hours, monastics and lay friends will be having an opportunity to touch the earth of our ancestral altar and also to sit in peace and silence around Thai's coffin, Thai's casket, and the full moon meditation hall will become a peaceful hall of meditation, of Zen, of quiet reflection and paying of respect for Thay. And the chanting will focus in the shrine room and the ancestors' altar. Very simple to see these beautiful chrysanthemum flowers. We can see Thai Sangati and his robe folded above the coffin. And Thay was a monk for 80 years. 80 years of spiritual deepening, of compassion and of service. And here we're seeing Plum Village monastics, many of them who have been monastics for 10, 15 years, living, training and serving not only in Vietnam, but many of these sisters have trained also in Plum Village in the US, and Venerable Newman, Supan Newman, and many other venerables here from Hue coming to support us and to be here as a refuge for our younger monastics at this time. And on the right of the altar, we can see the memorial plaque for Thay, declaring Thai's name and lineage, made specially for this occasion. So continuing to practice touching the earth at the ancestral altar to pay our respects to our beloved teacher. And over the coming days, there will be an opportunity for monastics to travel from all over Vietnam and for lay practitioners also to come and pay their respects at the ancestral altar. Here in Plum Village, we're now taking a moment also ourselves to touch the earth in front of the altar that we have here in our own meditation hall. You may like to do the same at home.
Thấy lễ rồi, thấy lễ rồi đó.
Dạ con bà sư ông, kính thưa đại chúng.
Dear respected Thay, dear noble community,
Dạ, bên chữ Tuôn Đức ở bên chùa Tổ đã làm xong phần khai kinh.
the most venerables have finished doing the opening verse.
So the most
Và các
venerables in
vị
Vietnam have
chuẩn
finished
bị
doing
để
the
đi qua để
opening
là
verse to begin the
làm lễ
chanting
trước
for this morning.
khi ảnh và bằng thờ của thầy.
That will
And they did the
continue
opening
throughout the
verse at
morning.
the Buddha Hall, and now they are on their way to the Grand Meditation
And
Hall
now
where
the
Thai's
venerables
body is
are
to do another chanting session.
proceeding
Dạ, con
from
xin
the
mời
shrine
đại chúng
hall
mình
to
tiếp
the
tục
full moon
an tọa
meditation
theo
hall
hồn niệm.
where they will
And so now let us sit
continue
back
the
down
chanting.
to
So we will wait
support
for a
the
few
ceremony.
moments while the venerables now gather in the full moon meditation hall around Thai's casket and at Thai's altar here in the full moon meditation hall in Tuhu, Vietnam. So prostrating now in front of Thai's casket to pay respects. And the beautiful photo you can see on Thai's altar is from a lamp transmission ceremony in Plum Village, France. Thai holding the Dharma lamp. And many of us may know that Thai ordained many hundreds of Dharma teachers in his lifetime. And they continue Thai's teachings and work out in the world. Lay Dharma teachers and monastic Dharma teachers in the monastic community. So we can see everyone with the brown ceremonial robe. Beneath the Sangati is a Plum Village disciple of Thay. So wonderful that so many of Thai's students can be gathered here. And the venerables with the golden robes. Many of these have been Thai's attendants, preparing food for Thay, taking care of Thay during his time in Vietnam since 2018 when he returned. And so many of Thai's monastic disciples gathered here in the meditation hall in this moment. Many young men and women from all over Vietnam who've given up everything to become Thai's disciples, to train in the art of mindful living and in the Dharma doors of Plum Village, to offer healing and transformation for themselves and for society. Since Thai's return to Vietnam in 2005, many of his books have been able to be studied in Buddhist institutes. So even those who are not in the Plum Village tradition have been able to study and benefit from Thai's scholarship, Thai's insights, and Thai's profound efforts to renew Buddhism and to make it relevant to our time. Thay always had a lot of faith in the young generation, and so wonderful to see so many young monastics in our community continuing Thai's teachings, and so many lay disciples all over the world, lay practitioners continuing Thai's teachings in the world. This full moon meditation hall is the same hall where Thay received the senators from the United States who came to pay their respects in 2019. It was also in this very same hall where Thay received them and invited them to have tea. The beautiful chrysanthemums, Thay's favorite flower, and Thay's disciples, young disciples in Vietnam touching the earth. Around the world, there are more than 700 monastic disciples of Thay in our monasteries, not only in Vietnam, but also in Europe, in America, California, Mississippi, and New York, and in Australia, Thailand, Hong Kong. And here we see the memorial pins being distributed. And it is a tradition in the East for the family members of those who pass away to wear a memorial pin in honor of their beloved family member. And so we will now have a moment for the memorial pins to be distributed, in particular to the venerables out of respect, and also to Thay's monastic disciples. And they will be worn on our robes for several weeks, or indeed even months. The traditional mourning period can be up to 3 years. And the pins carry the Vietnamese phrase, "coming and going in freedom." And they are gold, saffron yellow, the same color as our ceremonial robes. And in many of our monasteries, we will also have memorial pins. So if you are able to participate in any of the ceremonies held in our monasteries, we may also be able to offer you a memorial pin to wear in honor of our teacher as he comes and goes in freedom. There is also a moment to offer symbolically food to Thay on the altar, as well as the incense and flowers. And out of respect, all the venerables themselves wearing the memorial pins as well. So placing the memorial pins on one another with a lot of love, mindfulness, and remembrance of our teacher. Thai's bowl here on the altar with the formal offering of rice. It seems. One of Thai's attendants there kneeling close to Thai's casket, Thai's coffin and his altar, holding vigil as we will continue to do over the coming days. Thai's disciples will always be close to the coffin, following our breathing, generating the energy of peace and compassion for our beloved teacher. So we're now seeing the distribution of the memorial pins to the lay friends who have gathered outside and who will also have an opportunity to come into the hall to sit quietly and follow their breathing, to touch the earth and to pay their respects. And this will continue over the coming days. And the atmosphere for these ceremonies at Từ Hiếu Temple here in Hue will be an atmosphere of peace, of serenity, and silence will be observed in this full moon meditation hall over the coming week. And the intention for these days of ceremonies is to create really the energy of mindfulness, of concentration, of compassion, of peace, and of insight. So these ceremonies themselves are not merely rituals, but really this is a time for our own practice to receive Thay's Dharma body of the energy of mindfulness, compassion, and peace, to touch that in ourselves at this auspicious moment, so that each one of us can also generate that energy in these days and offer it to the world.
Chúng con ngưỡng bạch sư ông, ngưỡng bạch chư tôn đức, kính thưa đại chúng.
Dear respected Thay, dear noble community.
Bây giờ đại chúng sẽ tiếp nhận cái tâm tang.
Now each one of us will receive a morning pin.
Và khi mà mình tiếp nhận cái này và mình gắn lên trên áo tràng của mình thì mình ý thức rằng là mình là sự tiếp nối của Thầy.
We shall receive one and we shall pin it on our long robe on the left side of our heart as a token of Thay's continuation.
Pháp thân của Thầy, nhục thân của Thầy không còn có mặt đó là một cái sự mất mát rất là lớn.
Thay's physical presence is not here anymore, and that is like emptiness that is felt around the world.
Nhưng mà mình may mắn là mình vẫn còn có tăng thân.
But we are very lucky we still have the Sangha.
Và tăng thân đích thực là sự tiếp nối của Thầy.
And the Sangha is the true continuation of Thay.
Trong suốt thời gian mà chúng ta tổ chức tâm tang cho Thầy,
during the whole ceremony days of mourning and practicing continuation for Thay,
xin đại chúng trở về với hơi thở, trở về với bước chân để tiếp tục nuôi dưỡng Thầy ở trong mình.
Let us always take refuge in our breath, take refuge in our steps as a way to be in touch with Thay and to be Thay's continuation.
Và mình cũng tiếp tục nuôi dưỡng Thầy ở trong các huynh đệ của mình.
And we see Thay in all of our brothers, sisters and friends.
Khi mình có cơ hội được thầy một huynh đệ, mình chắp tay mình chào và mình ý thức rằng huynh đệ của mình là sự tiếp nối của Thầy.
And when we see our spiritual brother, sister, friends, we can bow to him, her, and we can see that they are a continuation of our teacher.
Và chúng ta sẽ tiếp tục chấp nhận nhau, thương yêu nhau, đùm bọc nhau như là anh em một nhà.
And we continue to learn to accept each other, forgive each other, and love each other like family, like children in one family.
Bây giờ chúng ta sẽ truyền nhau những cái tang này. Sau khi đại chúng đã gắn lên áo thì chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau lạy 3 lạy.
So we will now pass the tray of pins and we shall receive it and we shall wear it on our long robe on the left, and then we shall all touch the earth 3 times together to end our ceremony this morning.
Bên chùa tổ thì trong suốt thời gian tâm tang tổ chức thì đại chúng thực tập Noble Silence.
In the root temple now, after today, their practice will be Noble Silence for the coming days.
Tất cả những thiền sinh Phật tử tới thăm viện cũng thực tập im lặng.
And all of the lay friends from around Vietnam, the world that come to pay respect to Thay, they are asked to practice noble silence.
Xin đại chúng ở đây mình cùng cố gắng mình thực tập để hộ niệm cho Thầy.
And let us here in Plum Village, we practice as best as we can as a way to support Thay and support the whole community during these days.
Yeah, chúng con xin cảm ơn đại chúng.
We would like to thank the Sangha.
So, dear friends, the memorial pins are now being passed around here in Plum Village, France. And for those of you at home, we have prepared a number of resources for you on the Plum Village website. So if you haven't yet visited our website, please go there. We have wonderful teachings from Thay, beautiful poems, beautiful recordings of chants, and we can continue to nourish ourselves with all of these offerings over the coming days and to bring the Spirit into our own life. And we will try to do our best to find a way so that at home you can print out this beautiful calligraphy so that you can create your own memorial pin to also wear, just as all of Thai students are wearing in our centers around the world, and also as we can see in Hue, Vietnam. And dear community, we hope that those of you who are able to do so will be able to come together with your sanghas to sit together, to walk together, to generate the energy of mindfulness together in honor of our teacher, to create this energy of peace also where you are, so that we are not alone in this moment. So please do not hesitate to reach out and connect to your local sanghas, to find a nearby sangha if you are not yet a member of a sangha, and to enjoy continuing Thai's energy in the world through our own practice in community, in collectivity. And it is as a community that we can move forward for a more beautiful future.
In gratitude to our teacher, Zen Master, whose first name is Nhat and whose second name is Hanh, the founder of the Plum Village tradition.
Like that.
So, dear beloved community, thank you so much for having joined us Here in Plum Village, it is 3 o'clock in the morning, and you can see our brothers and sisters gently coming up to Thay's altar here in the still water meditation hall of Upper Hamlet to pay their respects at Thay's altar here. We can see Sister Gina, Sister Thuy Nhiem, Sister Dao Nhiem, many other elders we may recognize in this footage here. So thank you for having joined us today. It's wonderful to come together as a spiritual community. And please continue to nourish yourself with the resources, the teachings, the chants, and the practices we are making available for you on our website, so that we can really immerse ourselves in Thay's teachings over these coming days, and to practice mindful walking, mindful breathing, and if possible, please do find a Sangha to connect to locally to you in your town or city or region. And we know that when we come together as a Sangha, the energy is so powerful. So please also continue to follow our program as we continue our ceremonies over the coming days. And thank you for having joined us. We know you are all there, and we are very happy. Thank you, dear beloved spiritual family. We will say good night or good morning here from Plum Village, France. We wish you a peaceful day in memory of our beloved teacher, and let us touch the peace that he has given each one of us, and carry it forward as we go about our days. And we will continue to support one another as the ceremonies unfold. Thank you all so much. Sister True Dedication here saying goodbye. Thank you. We wish you well. We hold you in our hearts as well. Thank you. Good night. Goodbye.